one of the challenges here is to actually ensure that we get the abatement provisions into the consents in the first place. These are the things that your staff are having to manage. I actually have a degree of sympathy for the consenting staff and the compliance staff who are having to go out there and to consider these incidents where, in fact, I don't necessarily think it's an issue of whether we had the resourcing or whether we had the technology in place or the systems in place, that the abatement measures in the consents are lacking in the first place, hence we're getting the problems with overflows.
I think your question's probably better directed to my colleague Ian Smallburn, who looks after the resource consents team.
Yep. I'll put that in writing because this is, I mean, Mr. Chair, I don't want to belabour the point, but I think it was I think that Councillor Lee was a bit unfair with some of the comments that he raised, but there are statements and milestones in the report itself that relate to our achievements against targets, and frankly, I think that we would be in a better position if we addressed that particular gap in the consents themselves. So I will put it in writing, but I think when that matter is, when that highlight is made in the report, it invites debate on that point, Mr. Chair.
And I think you should put it in writing also to the Chair of the Environment Committee too. So it goes to Kevin.
I was just going to suggest picking up the three comments from Councillors Lee, Newman and Walker. Look, by nature, this is an overview report. Yeah. So this is actually talking about the overall performance, which uses metrics to give indications as to the quality of the performance being undertaken. What we can do, though, is pick up on that point. And as, for instance, we have had the customer services team come along here. Today we have Ian coming along to talk about building control. If we have a specific area you wish to discuss around performance, we can always look at that, bring it here. Potentially, we may also pick those up and take them to the appropriate committee, which in this case, as suggested by the Chair, may well be the Environment Committee. We can pick up the metrics, we can talk about the connections of water care, and ask them for a bit of a short report to come through to the Environment Committee on what are the issues that need to be addressed here, that these metrics are actually showing us there's a concern with them. So we'll pick that up from the comments that we made today.
Excellent. Thank you.
Can I just respond as the Chair of that committee?
Yep.
Useful discussion, but I'm not prepared to have a whole bunch of unrelated reports. We've got the bigger issue of stormwater and water quality coming up, and we will feed that discussion into that. Otherwise, we're generating a whole lot of random reports from random neural firings around this table.
Hard to know where to start on this.
So thank you for the offer, and I think we're probably saying the same thing. I think it needs to be a bigger picture.
Every report costs money.
They do. Thank
you, Ian.
Thank you.
Yep. Kevin, Jenny, you want to continue?
Okay. Okay, there's just a couple of more slides around the financial performance, just a quick overview on that. So the next slide talks to the capital expenditure delivery performance. So we've got a program approved for the year of $568 million, and at the half year we've completed 188 million, or 33%. The business units are basically telling us that there's going to be a big pickup in delivery over the next second half of the year, and that they're expecting to deliver about 90% of the program for the year. There are some risk areas, particularly in the commercial property strategic portfolio area and in land acquisition areas. Those are the key areas that we know are risks. Okay, and then at the bottom of the slide there, just a summary around the debt management position at the half year. So $7.2 billion debt level, borrowing level, and that's against annual plan projection of $8 billion, so we're on track there to deliver within the annual plan projections. Okay, the next slide provides a high-level summary of the overall financial performance results. Bottom line there, net surplus, a favourable result for the half year, a $306 million favourable compared to budget. And if we just focus on the line that's highlighted, the operating part of the budgets, and that's a favourable result of $15 million compared to budget, so we're within 2% of the budget there, so it's a good result. The line under there, the non-operating piece, that's $291 million favourable. That has moved from the last quarter where it was an unfavourable result, and the key item we have in there is all the treasury derivatives, where we have the fair value adjustments or non-cash accounting adjustments for fair value. Those tend to move around depending what's happening with the global financial markets. So, you know, there is uncertainty around that. At the moment it's favourable, but it depends really what happens in the marketplace. And just a reminder that, you know, the treasury management, those derivatives we have are a key fundamental part of our management of our future debt costs. So they're locking in and giving us certainty around the future costs of our debt. So that's why we have them. Okay, and then just to summarise overall, so no areas of material concern. The performance measures, LTP performance measures, overall 65% of those metrics are either on target or close to target. The net operating financial results on track with a $15 million favourable variance to budget. Our capital delivery program, we've delivered 33% for the year. And the debt position at $7.2 billion is lining up with the annual plan projections. Thank you. I'm taking your questions. Last, Sally Woods is from the customer experience team, and she can take the questions relating to that paper. And Phil Jones as well.
Councillor Casey.
Just on the call centre, I've got 3 questions. The first is, am I reading this right? I'm on page 117. Have we introduced a new interactive voice response? Because I find it really difficult to hire a taxi or speak to the health board because they don't recognise accents. Can I just check on that? Oh. I'll be your guinea pig.
It's just Scottish accents, I think.
Shut up.
Is it Paris person?
Shut up.
Through the chair, the new IVR that we have is still reliant on the customer pushing buttons to
So it's not voice. It says
Correct.
voice activated, so it's not.
It's no, it doesn't recognise your voice. The technology can. We haven't deployed that.
No. We're good. We're good.
What'd you
Thank
say?
you. Right. My second question, they all relate to the response times for the call centre. And I want to relay a wee story, which was in the last quarter. I get a call from an older man who said that he'd been waiting for the call centre, first time for 25 minutes, the second time for 25 minutes. He had it hung up and then he rang me. So I checked with the call centre and found out that the day after the Queen's birthday weekend, there was 100 people waiting and that the average response time was half an hour. And around here it says 1 minute and 22 seconds. So my experience, which was 15 minutes, by the way, not 25, doesn't match at all with what you're telling me here. So how do you deal? I mean, I understand it was a holiday weekend, people just fill the phones. How do you deal with that, and how do you report it to us?
So the answer is it's very, very challenging operationally to deal with spikes. We have, on a Monday, any normal Monday, we have 40% more calls on a Monday than we do any other day. So trying to get people just to work on a Monday isn't practical. So we spend a lot of time working through those challenges. We've employed some technology to mitigate our very high peaks, and that is where we offer people their opportunity to stay in the queue, but we will call them back. And that technology is in place on our biggest queues, but not all our queues. So
just on that, sorry to interrupt, call you back when? You just sit by the phone and wait?
That's the opportunity, and a lot of our customers do take that up, especially in the rates queue. A lot of people will ring, leave their number, and we will call them back when their time in the queue comes up. So that's our primary technique for meeting that very peak demand. So at times, the day they open up the bookings for regional parks, in the beginning of July, we have up to 500 people in the queue for about 45, 50 minutes. And we just can't, it's not cost effective to resource for very short peaks. So we have to apologise to our customers at those points in time.
I'm not sure we've got that quite right, because it's the same theme. When I'm looking at your new model, which is you're going to have one centre in Manukau supported by remote workers. My questions are, who are these remote workers and how remote are they? And how do we deal with that Monday after the holiday weekend when you've got 30-minute wait all day?
So the measure that is there is our average wait time. So it's very rarely I think the worst we've seen in a single day is around 5.5 minutes. The 30 minutes can be over a very short period of time, could be a 15, we measure it every 15 minutes. So that I think that answers the question around how the average relates to very short peaks. The remote workers, we're planning to use existing staff in locations that are currently working in locations being Orewa, Henderson, the city centre here, and Takapuna, and offering them the opportunity to work from home so that their employment opportunities are not impacted by the consolidation in Manukau. So there are existing staff working for us in those sites right now.
Yeah.
So the overall numbers will not be reduced? I think that's what I'm getting at.
Not through this exercise.
I don't know that we're employing enough people to deal with the calls.
No, we're not. We have some funding issues around that. Yes, we have not enough people doing the math. We have not enough people to answer all the calls for those peak periods.
Well, see, we're judged on that. I mean, people get really irate when they don't get an answer from the council. They really do. And I think that if that's our public face, we should be getting that right. If it says 1 minute, 22 seconds, and that's what you should wait, it shouldn't be 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. So I look forward to seeing how that's going to be resolved.
So on average, that is the average wait, 1 minute, 22 seconds.
Yeah.
Occasionally, yes. There are periods of time when you wait 10, 15 seconds. For long periods
So there
of the
are
day.
funding constraints. It's an underlying message there.
Just the people over the last 3
Councillor
years.
Collins.
Thanks, Chair. Just a few questions once I find my page. On page 93, I was just wondering, this might be an offline discussion, but point 47 is the percentage of DE graded food premises, and it's on target. I was just wondering if I could get some, maybe in an email, a correlation between those D and E graded food premises and the geography of those premises, where they are, because we know that there's issues out south with a lot of these premises. Point 48 says, with the percentage of high-risk alcohol premises inspected annually, that you expect it to be met, but it's normal for the focus to reduce on this measure at this time of year, whilst other priorities are sorted. I was just wondering if you could explain what you mean by giving priority to other tasks rather than inspecting high-risk alcohol premises.
Look, yeah, we can come back with more detail on that, but fundamentally it's just refocusing the staff in different areas within their functional area. And so what they do is they plan the year out to make sure they do tackle it by the end of the year. But at this time of year, they're actually refocusing. I don't know which other tasks. We can get some more detail from the business on that.
All right. Okay. And on page something, $40 million, $40.8 million spent on professional services, consultants. And when you unpack it a little bit, go further down into your diagram, there's an explanation alongside consents where it says 20 million was for a certain number of things, I think environmental building consents, and it was backfill and consultants to reach the demand. I was just wondering, is that normal practice that we would spend that amount of money probably paying more for consultants than we would staff?
Good. If I could say through the chair, good memory. It's page 112, and you've almost quoted the wording there. So, yeah, the consultants brought in here really of two types. One can be specialist knowledge brought in for a particular consent issue, be it an arborist, be it a fluid mechanic or something like that. So they actually bring in specialist knowledge. The other is resources is brought in just literally for capacity. And one of the issues we've had is the number of consents being lodged. As we heard earlier on from Ian McCormick, it has been maintained at a very high level following last year. So if we haven't got enough staff, if he has got staff leaving, one of the options I've got is to bring resources in through this mechanism to actually literally just manage the processing.
And are you able to tell us what the actual budgeted figure is for consultants for the financial year?
Haven't got that with me here, but we can give you that here. Yep.
Thanks, Chief.
And just for information through the Chair, it does look like it will be running slightly over this year because of the consenting regulatory area. There was more resourcing brought in than originally budgeted for.
We have Councillor Cashmore, Mayor Goff and Councillor Casey.
Thanks. Mine's concerning the risks around the property purchase and disbursement. Is that to do with market or is that to do with negotiations?
Under the CapEx year. Some of that is actually things like the Manukau precinct development. So there's actually just been more thinking going in, more design, some more negotiation happening in those areas there. So it's more negotiation rather than market.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's process. Thank you.
Mayor Goff.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Question in relation to employee numbers on 105, 106. It basically